Brady now the starter in Tampa. Will Bruce Arians' offense be a good or bad thing for Tom Brady?
Skip, on one hand, it looks like a good fit for the simple fact you look at all the weapons. Godwin, Mike Evans, O.J. Howard, now he signed Gronk, Cameron Brate. They took a running back, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Skip, in the second or third round, drafted an offensive lineman with the 10th pick in the draft. Well, high in the draft. So it looks like a good fit because of the weapons. But when you delve inside of it, it's really not a good fit because in that offense, Skip, it's all about pushing the ball down the field. And you know this, when you push the ball down the field, you subject yourself to more turnovers. This is why Jameis made some horrible mistakes. All of those turnovers weren't on long passes. He had some horrible reads, Skip, on some underneath stuff, and even on the deep balls, he threw into traffic a lot. But this is what this offense requires you to do. Skip, for the most part, Tom Brady's 20-year career, except with that 3-year span, in 1 year, remember, Skip, he only played one game with Randy. If I'm not mistaken, Skip, in 2008, he only played one game. He got hurt early in that game. And so basically it was 7 and 9 in which he played with Randy Moss. That was really the only time the Patriots offense was deep strike, push the ball down the field because you had Randy Moss. Other than that, Tom Brady has been very risk averse. This is why his running backs catch so many passes. That's why the screen game is so good for them. It's something that they really work on. And if you think about it, you're going to have to ask Tom Brady to retrain what he's been trained to do, which is risk aversion. That means you're going to have to stand in the pocket a little longer. You're going to have to allow guys to get a little closer to you, and you're going to have to push the ball down the field. And you're going to have to trust Godwin. You're going to have to trust Godwin and Mike Evans, that they're going to make plays. And either they're going to make the play or they're going to break the play up, and the defense is not going to make a play. All right, so, Skip, yeah, it looks great because you look at the weapons, and Brady as a whole maybe not have ever had offensive weapons like this at one particular time. Now, Skip, we know what Gronk represented. We know Wes Welker, what he represented, and we Randy Moss. But when you combine all this, I don't know if you've ever had this, but when you really, really look at it, Skip, Tom Brady's going to be asked to stand in the pocket, take 7-step drops, hold the ball, and push it down the field. So they're going to be asking Tom Brady to do things in which he hasn't done in a very long time. Whether or not it's going to work, we're going to have to see. But it's asking him to do something that he really hasn't done, or I don't know if he's really comfortable doing, especially at the age of 43. Skip, licks hurt a little more as we start to age. Trust me.
Trust me. So, back to your premise that Tom Brady at 43 might not have the arm or the guts or the durability to be able to take an offense in which go routes are called every other play. I believe that whole narrative is fallacious. I believe it's just, as Bruce Arians said, flat out wrong. Arians said a couple days after they were able to sign Tom Brady that I think the perception is just wrong. I thought his deep ball was outstanding last year. And Shannon, I got to tell you, the stats back that up. Would you believe that Tom Brady threw 7 touchdown passes of 20 or more yards last year? That was his most since 2006. And back to Jameis, who was in that bombs away offense last year and put up absurd numbers, great and bad. Jameis was #1 in tight window completions of 20 or more yards. Guess who was tied for first with Jameis for tight window completions of more than 20 yards? Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. That guy did that last year with nobody to throw to in New England. Tom Brady tied Jameis for the most guarded deep ball throws in the league. And by the way, as Pro Football Focus pointed out in grading Brady from last year, his passing suffered for lack of quality receivers in 2019. Brady's numbers were solid with nobody getting open on a consistent basis. I told you Pro Football Focus graded the Patriots receivers as dead last in separation, in being able to get free from a DB or a linebacker or anybody covering them. So to me, it's just erroneous to think Tom Brady can't stand up to this offense. And by the way, Bruce Arians knows how it works, because he went on to say that we do have some reads that start deep and come back short. But I've had a couple of quarterbacks, one of them obviously being Jameis, that just kept looking deep and wouldn't throw the check down. And he loves, Bruce Arians, what Tom Moore, his great advisor who coached Peyton Manning in his early years in Indy, Tom Moore's always said that nobody ever went broke putting money in the bank. Well, they didn't, because it's check downs. Take it. If somebody's open short, just dump it to them. So now Tom Brady goes to an offense that has obviously the prince of midair in Evans, Mike Evans, who's 6 feet 5 inches tall. And Pro Football Focus ranked Chris Godwin last year the #1 receiver in football. So now you've got those two on the outside. You added Gronk, who has the best rapport of anybody, I think even beyond Edelman, that Brady threw to in New England. And you also have O.J. Howard, who's an untapped resource. He still hasn't figured out how to play. He's 6'5", and he ran 4.5 at the combine. My goodness. What do you think's going to happen? Greatness is going to happen, because there's nothing wrong with Brady's arm. They had another workout yesterday. They said they probably had 10 or 12 in Tampa. Hope they're social distancing. But they say his arm looks as good as ever. It looks live. So to me, I don't see that this whole storyline that he can't stand up to the offense. Yeah, he can. And sometimes he's going to throw some short balls that are going to be run after catch balls.
Yeah, Skip, I believe that. But well, if that's where it came off, Skip, that's not what I meant. I'm not saying Tom Brady can't. I'm saying Tom Brady's going to be asked to throw the ball down the field more than at any point in time in his career. This is the offense. And yes, Skip, in every offense, you throw the ball deep occasionally. But nobody asked their quarterback to throw the ball deep more than what Tampa asked Jameis to do. And when you do that, Skip, you allow the defense to get closer. Tom has done a great job, Skip. You remember when I think it was Joey Bosa that was mic'd up in that divisional game. And he's like, man, I can't get there, because Tom was just throwing the ball. He was getting the ball out of his hands so quick. Well, that's not Tampa's offense. Tampa is about pushing the ball down the field. It's about getting those big plays. It's about